So we've talked about cards, we've talked about line charts, we've talked about KPIs. Now it's time to talk about two other very common chart types, bar and donut charts. And remember when we were sketching out our dashboard design, we wanted to show some sort of a categorical comparison here in the Exec Dashboard tab. Because right now we're really just looking at high-level numbers and we're looking at trends over time. We've got weekly revenue, we've got month-over-month comparisons for these KPI cards, but we're not really showing how these values break down categorically. And we've got some great categorical fields that we can use here, like product category, for instance. So what I want to do using this real estate here in our Exec Dashboard tab is show how these total orders break down by different product categories, like accessories, like bikes, like clothing, and so on. So we can do this a few different ways. I'm going to show you a donut chart first, and then I think we're going to end up converting it to a bar chart, but I want to show you both options. So we added a donut, and here we've got 4 different options: legend, values, details, and tooltips. Really just going to be focusing on these first two, legend and values. Now, legend is how you want to break down your values. So what is that categorical field? And in this case, it's going to be the product category name. And just make sure you're pulling this from the right place, because there are a lot of fields that look the same. We've got fields in our product lookup, our subcategory lookup, but the one we want is the category name from our product categories lookup table. Go ahead and drop that in. It's going to give us legend right here. You'll note we've got accessories, bikes, clothing, and components. I don't think we actually have any sales for components quite yet. So as soon as we add values, we may see that category disappear. And the values, well, this is the measure that we want to actually quantify here, which is total orders in this case. Let's go ahead and drop it in. And yep, we just see these 3 categories: accessories, bikes, and clothing. And technically the donut chart works, right? We get the value for each category, and we also get the proportion, or the percent of a whole, which is exactly what donuts and pies are designed to show. But in this case, I care a little bit less about part of a whole, and I care a little bit more about the comparison between these categories. And for that reason, I think I'd prefer a simpler visual, like a bar chart, because humans are much better at deciphering the differences between the length of bars as opposed to the angle of slices in a pie or a donut chart. So we can go ahead and just change the visual type right here in the build menu. Boom, that's going to turn it into a bar chart. And now we can do some adjustments and some formatting and styling straight from here. So let's activate on object formatting. Double click. We don't need that y-axis name here. So let's try to click that again and delete. And we actually don't need an x-axis either, because we're going to add this context and this detail in the chart title itself. And we can actually get rid of the x-axis values as well and replace them with data labels. So this is a great use case for on-object formatting. I can right-click the series. I get that add data labels right there. I can select the data labels, jump straight into those formatting settings. In this case, I want to change the position to outside the ends of these bars. And I want to make sure that we always have 1 decimal point for precision. We can drop the size from a 9 to an 8. And I think that looks pretty good for my data labels. Only other initial updates here will be to update the title. So we can jump to the title options. And I want to make this as clear as possible. So instead of just saying orders or total orders, I'm going to say orders by category. That way viewers know exactly what this legend represents. And as always, we're going to head to Sego UI, size 10, and centered, just like every other chart on this page. And last thing for now is to go into our bars and change that blue to our branded gray. So that's looking pretty good. I think I'm aligned right with the top of that line chart. So spacing looks good. I'm going to shrink it down maybe just a little bit more. Now, last thing I want to do is update these tooltips. You can see I still have the defaults here. I want those to match my line chart, which you can see here. So let's go ahead into our properties and update these tooltip settings. Default, and remember we use white for labels, blue for values, white for drill text, and our background is that dark gray at 10%. Okay, So let's check that. Looks good. We can see the values as we hover over each category. And there you have it. We've got a nice categorical comparison on our exact dashboard sheet using a bar chart.